This episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Hey, welcome back everyone to another episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast.
Woo!
Wow, we're still doing that. Okay, it's me, Kev, once again on this weekly podcast where we talk about all things movies, especially movies that are playing here in Brunei Darussalam. Today's episode we'll be reviewing The Nun, and we'll be having that review from Del and Khai. So let's get to our first co-host. It's Del.
Yes.
What's up?
I'm here.
You're back.
It's been a busy weekend.
It's been a busy weekend.
It still is the weekend that is busy.
What?
That's very Del thing to say.
I know.
Is it?
This is the second busy weekend we've had.
Yes, it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, which is why we missed last week's episode. We needed to take a break, take a breather, because we had a really, really, really busy weekend.
And we're also a human.
And we're also human. But we're back this week. Why were we off the air last week?
Because of Bruhehe.
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 We had a big show.
We had a big show with, it was a collaboration with AMBD. We got invited to put on a show for them, for their audience, and also for the general public. It was about National Savings Day. And then that one ended and followed by a couple of private shows that we also were involved in.
And this week, yeah.
This week, yeah.
Okay.
And today, we have the audition
Yes.
for our new batch of Bruhehe.
Bruhayans.
Bruhayuns.
Is that a thing?
I don't know, guys.
Alright, up next, it's the other co-host of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's Khai.
Sup, guys?
Sup?
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. It's good to have you back.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's...
Has he been missing?
Well,
for a week, yes.
for like a week.
Yeah.
We were all missing for a week.
Yes, but
Well-
so was I. We could go in circles all day, Del.
We could, but let's not.
No, yeah. It's even though it's been a crazy week, I feel like we still had time to watch movies.
Well,
No,
Yeah.
it was tough. It was tough.
Really?
For once, I feel like there is just not enough time for movies because I've only caught one movie this week.
Okay.
And there are already, 2-3 others that I still haven't.
Okay, I caught two. So I feel like I've had a decent week.
Okay.
Well, you guys are doing much better than I am. I didn't catch any this week.
It's a matter of choice.
Yes, that is right. So between choosing to go watch a movie for a review and staying home kicking my feet up, I chose the latter. Anyway, let's get to the news. Sad news on this week. We just got news that Burt Reynolds has passed away at the age of 82.
Yeah, that was, as always with this news, is always very unexpected. But I feel like Burt Reynolds is one of those people that everybody will look on and say he's had a great career and he has a great following. And it's the only thing I can say is my heart goes out to his family at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he made a big name for himself, I think, in the 70s and carried all the way until the mid-2000s, I think.
Yeah, he had a career resurgence.
Yeah.
Which is very uncommon for a lot of actors his age.
I think he was the first generation of actors that had a resurgence.
Yes.
Yeah, which translated into, modern cinema.
Yeah.
And it's unexpected because he was already announced to be in Quentin's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
And he has not filmed his scenes yet.
Yeah, so
So they will have to replace him.
sad news there. But let's kick off with the real news. And this week, we had a bombshell drop on all the Marvel fans out there. We got our first official look at Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
Right.
via pictures over at Entertainment Weekly.
Yep.
I was just thinking that there was a lot of Photoshop work done to the behind-the-scenes pictures that we received a few months ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists used those pictures as basis to make Carol Danvers' blue and red outfit. So when I saw the pictures for Entertainment Weekly, I had to do a double take to ensure whether or not this was Photoshop or the actual thing.
Because the first photo we saw, the on-set photo, was blue and turquoise.
I believe so. It's
Yeah.
there like hints of green and
Yeah,
something
there was like
like
some
that.
green in it and turquoise, yeah.
And when I saw these pictures from Entertainment Weekly, I thought, wait a second, is this Photoshop or not? But credit to the Photoshop artists for doing a good job. The best part about these pictures for me is the Skrulls, because they are a huge part of Marvel comic book lore. So to see them on the screen is a bit surreal. And also I was impressed
And
to see-
actually, they look like okay. They look good.
they look pretty good.
They don't look silly. They
they
don't
do
look
not.
like elves.
No.
We also got a photo of de-aged Sam Jackson
We did, yes.
as Nick Fury with two eyes.
Yeah. And we also saw Ronan before the makeup tears.
Before the what?
The makeup tears, the black lines around his eyes in Guardians of the Galaxy. In this one, before the goth
yes.
phase.
We also saw like a long shot of I think it's the Star Force.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and Jaimon Honsu's character
Yes.
is part of the Star Force along with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and also Marvel, played by Jude Law.
Yes, he's in this
there
movie as well.
I don't know. It's kind of feels like this is a Green Lantern film.
Whoa.
I saw it. I was like, oh wow, this could easily be the Green Lantern Corps, but you know,
Green Lantern as in because we saw photos of them in a jet?
and also because they were wearing a green and slightly black outfit. I was like, Green Lantern,
Now that you mention it.
right? It's kind of there.
But this is coming from Marvel. So...
Yeah, it is. It is. I've always been indifferent to Captain Marvel, so bring on the trailer.
Yeah.
What about you, Del?
I never really bother with pictures. The only picture that excited me was the one with the Star Force because it looks pretty put together, and Jimon's what's his
Honsu?
name? Korath?
Yeah.
Korath, yeah.
Korath, right? Yeah, it's good to see him back again.
Yeah.
He's in Guardians, right?
The first one.
Yeah.
And then he died at the end.
Ah,
But he was working for Ronan.
yeah.
In,
So
in
there's-
Guardians.
so we could expect some ties to
Backstabbing?
Guardians. Yeah.
Backstabbing, and then this sets up, how the story goes, and then we see them in Guardians together. All right. Okay, here's some news about Spider-Man Far From Home, which is the sequel to last year's Spider-Man Homecoming. It is reportedly going to be filming in the Czech Republic as well.
Interesting.
Because there's a casting call that came out, and they were looking for folk dance groups with traditional Czech costumes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they're actually going to be filming on location in Prague.
Nice.
So that's where the school trip goes to.
Yeah, so the school trip, I don't know, does it start in the UK?
Yeah, I think it's like a Euro
and then,
trip.
And then it moves around?
Yeah.
Spider-Man Euro trip.
Spider-Man Euro
So they
trip?
should call it not Spider-Man Far From Home. They should go Spider-Man The Tax Rebates.
Oh. Okay. Also for Spider-Man Far From Home, we got a set video of filming on location in London, and we see Nick Fury and Maria Hill. They're going to be in this movie.
Yeah. I saw those.
Wait, where is this in the timeline? Because this is a Phase 4 movie,
It really is a Phase 4 movie.
which is after the next movie,
Avengers movie.
which is Avengers 4.
Yes.
Okay, the closing of Avengers Infinity War.
Right.
We don't know the title yet. This is set after that. So that means they come back. So this is the problem with the storytelling now. Like,
Or could it be in like a prologue scene or like a scene that takes place earlier? We're not too sure as well, right?
yeah, there are no details.
They're on
Yeah.
set,
They're on set.
but they're not.
They're not in the movie.
This is for a totally separate movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess everyone after the snaps comes back. That's the logical way of.
Well, we
Like
still
this-
have till next year to do our countdowns.
This picture already proves that, and I don't believe it's like a prologue, like you say, or it's gonna be in another movie. I think they are coming back.
They have to. I mean, these are beloved characters after all. Here's another beloved character that is set to return for Spider-Man Far From Home. It's Happy Hogan. He's coming back.
John Favreau.
Yep.
Nice.
He will be featured in the movie, and there is also a report that Pepper Potts will also be in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Nice.
Um,
So basically, this is Iron Man Jr.,
I think so.
right?
Yeah.
It has been Iron Man Jr.
Yeah.
Because he's...
This is what I was just having this conversation with someone. I was saying I've loved Tom Holland's Spider-Man in all the crossover movies, but I wasn't a fan of his solo film.
Yep.
Just because it felt too bogged down by the bigger world. Like he works better as the smaller character than he does as the lead.
Yeah.
Just because even in his movie, he's not 100% the lead.
Because, you have someone there who is a big name.
Yeah,
and
like-
for him to stand next
Yeah,
to
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark is like, I think Tony Stark's cooler.
Yeah.
What's
so
worse now is that his suit is not even his suit anymore.
It's Tony Stark's suit.
It's the nano suit.
Yeah,
That
Tony
is
Stark's projecting a lot of things onto this kid.
Because Peter Parker has to get it right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's stick with the MCU and Black Panther. All right. It's still doing really well.
Yeah.
There is some buzz.
Still?
It still
Still
is
playing.
Yeah, it is still playing. We
Okay.
talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and there are some smaller theaters in the US that are still playing the movie, even though it's out on digital, even though you can buy it on Blu-ray and 4K. But anyway, this bit of news is that Black Panther's Wakandans, initially, like in the early stages, they almost had a British accent.
Oh.
I read about this somewhere.
Yeah.
I think it started with Civil War.
Okay.
When
Yep.
King T'Chaka, played by John Carney, who is a very renowned South African playwright, insisted to the Russo brothers that they have an African accent because they are supposed to play African nobility.
Okay.
And so Chadwick Boseman ended up learning from a dialect coach.
Yes.
And this informed the rest of the country. As in, when they built that country of Wakanda, it was informed by that decision that the kings of this country speak this accent.
Yeah.
Everybody will have an accent. accent.
Because in an interview, Chadwick Boseman did say that in the very early stages, Marvel, Kevin Feige was trying to sort of say, I think they have like British accents so that, the audience accepts it easier. And someone put their foot down and it ended up being sourced from the accent, which is the South African accent, which is based on a language called the clicking one, the Xhosa.
Yeah.
So like what you said, they had like a dialect coach to teach all the actors. But can you imagine Black Panther if they had their way?
That would have been the most whitewashed film of the year.
Like they had, we have like higher class people in our country and they have British accents. So it's not beyond the realm of imagination that the Wakandan royalty would have a British accent.
But at the same time, it would not have been the cultural phenomenon it is today.
That is true.
Literally, Twitter would have been like, how dare you, Marvel? How dare you whitewash an entire nation of African people?
But it would be still so funny to hear him say, Wakanda forever.
but mommy, T'Challa is not here yet. That's why I feel like the person that put the foot down was John Kani, the actor who played T'Chaka. He really was just like, no.
This has to be
because
rooted in Africa.
He suffered, during the apartheid and everything. He suffered in South Africa.
So he's lived it.
And his son played his younger version.
Yeah, the one that had to kill his younger brother in the movie.
Yeah. Sterling K. Brown, yeah.
That's still funny though.
It's so good. So good.
All right, let's move it along to this next bit of news. And it's time for Bautista Watch. Dave Bautista says he's not worried about being fired for criticizing Disney.
It's being a wrestler, I'm telling you. Is that whole what you going to do? I'll suplex you.
He's not backing down at all.
No, he's a wrestler. He's got that wrestler's vibe going on. He's not Drax right now.
He doesn't need Guardians anymore. I think he's big enough. In his mind, I guess, he has made it to a certain level, and that level can also catapult him to higher levels.
I don't think that's it. I really think it's him having the utmost principle, like the absolute principle on this.
Well, yes.
For him, it's like, I don't care if I don't get a job. I've already gotten more than I had thought I would.
Because he said in this interview where he says he's not worried, he says loyalty is more important to me. That's the most important thing.
Is that from wrestling?
Was this? That's the bottom line.
It could be.
Is this on the Jonathan Ross show?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, because Jonathan Ross, I watched the interview and said, that's not how people did in Hollywood. And then Bautista says, I'm not in Hollywood. And there's Kevin Hart there who says, oh man, that's such a crazy thing to say. Like, Kevin Hart's all the way there. Because Kevin Hart's like the...
Hey, Drax, you gotta watch your mouth, man.
Yeah. There you go. Well done, Kev.
You're working for Disney, man.
Yeah. Man, I can do that, man. Kevin Hart, who's the poster boy of like just saying yes, I guess, was really like, whoa, like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. But yeah, hat off to Bautista
for sticking to sticking to what he believes in.
Absolutely.
We hope he stays in it, and Disney.
Obviously, we would like him to continue playing Drax.
Yeah, but I guess it's cancelled now.
Oh, whoa! They'll just throwing out pessimism flavor of the season.
I'm curious, like when will the Guardians 3 come to the screen?
There was also some news about Michelle Yeoh now jumping on the bandwagon of being in disagreement, saying, I think Disney was not right in firing.
Really?
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh did put out I think it was a statement saying that...
It must be one of the press junket for Crazy Rich.
Probably, yeah. Maybe she was asked. Well, anyway, let's move it along. Still in the Marvel Universe, here's someone who's also sort of, his career is, we don't know where it is. It's TJ Miller, someone we talked about a couple of months ago.
Yeah. So sad. So sad.
He was brought up and arrested because he made a bomb threat against someone on a train.
Yes.
For, after having an argument with this woman, and clearly he was intoxicated with something.
Yeah.
He apparently is now negotiating a deal over the charges.
TJ Miller strikes me as somebody who's pretty spineless. Like
he'll be tough at first.
Yeah, and then he's just a bit of a weasel, and he let fame get to his head.
Which is his name
Weasel.
in Deadpool.
Really?
Weasel.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Nice.
How can you not know this?
Because Deadpool's not the top of my list or anything.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. You own a comic book shop.
That is true. I have no excuses there. It has come to my attention that I'm unworthy. So it's been a pattern of behavior with him. It started with Silicon Valley. It started with him hogging a lot of spotlight from other people. And you just kind of think, like, you know, maybe if you're not built for fame, maybe you don't deserve all this kind of...
Whoa.
No, because think about it, right? He's not level-headed. That's a huge problem. And that part of the reason why he is where he is right now is because he thinks he could get away with it just because of who he is.
Yeah.
Maybe he just thought it was funny.
Yeah, and that was his actual defense. I just thought it would be funny.
I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
He's actually facing
Criminal.
up to 5 years
Yeah.
in prison if he's found guilty and no agreement comes from this negotiation.
Yeah. I think he must have thought, oh, you know, what are they going to do? Arrest me, TJ Miller? But you
And
know what
they
I
did.
mean? Yeah. So I can't feel bad for the guy. I just find myself thinking...
Yeah, and it's a pity because I really enjoy his work on TV. It started with Carpooling. Don't know if you guys watched
No,
that. He's so funny in that one, and that put him on the map for me, and that's where I kept following his career to today. And so sad that he has gone down this route.
He was also in Cloverfield.
Yeah.
He was like the annoying best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And then
comic
Silicon
relief.
Valley.
Yeah, Silicon Valley.
Yeah, so it's just hard to feel anything for somebody like that. It's just like, all right, cool, do whatever you have to.
In any case, we wish him, I guess, a resolution to this.
Yeah.
Somehow. Here's someone who wants to get into the MCU. It's Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl in The Walking
Right,
Dead.
yeah.
He says he knows which MCU character he would like to play.
Is it Ghost Rider?
Yes, that's one of them.
Yeah, it's
I
supposed
also know which MCU character I like to play.
Oh, please, Del, let's talk about this. Who do you want to play?
I would like to play Cyclops.
You would like to play Cyclops.
Yes.
Because?
I don't know, I just like...
Somehow, that's not as...
He's a goody two-shoe
shoes.
kind of character.
Yeah,
which
sure,
kinda
Del.
suits
Just
my
kind of gonna
image.
plug yourself there.
No,
I'm
no,
also
no.
a good guy.
I'm just saying, my clean image.
You laughed at yourself.
I do.
When you said
Because you know it's absurd.
No, I'm just saying this Norman Reedus. You ask any actors, they would love to be in Marvel,
Yes.
especially when they are not at that level of fame. I don't know this.
Well,
Okay, so he wants to be Ghost Rider. I think he can be a good Ghost Rider.
Nah.
He has that.
He has a
he's-
bike.
He's got that rocker
No,
image.
I can't.
I don't think that's qualification
No,
to be.
I really honestly do not see him as Ghost Rider.
Okay, well, how about this then? He said if not Ghost Rider, then maybe Silver Surfer.
Which one? Make up your mind, Norman.
No, definitely not Silver Surfer. If there was somebody who could play Silver Surfer, it'll be Sterling K. Brown, who played Eric Killmonger's dad in.
Yes.
He's got the build. He's kind of got the voice for it. It's
Yeah.
It's just that he'll be silver.
yeah. It would probably be CGI.
Norman
anyway.
is more Ghost Rider than Silver Surfer.
Yeah, but he's not Ghost Rider enough.
No, I guess not.
I don't see him as the guy who, would be a stuntman in...
Yeah.
He's too laid back, he's too cool.
He could play like a villain, honestly.
Yeah.
He cannot play a hero. That's the thing. He
Yeah.
doesn't have the image of a hero.
And
superhero.
to compare him to the masterful work of Nicolas Cage is just...
I don't. Why are you laughing, Kevin?
You said masterful.
Yeah.
I mean, the first Ghost Rider is still better than at least half the X-Men movies.
Well...
Whoa.
No.
Half the X-Men movies,
Whoa.
gentlemen. Really think about
Wait,
what I said.
which half?
I have
The first half.
There's like 9 X-Men movies.
Yeah, the first half.
9 X-Men
Or
movies.
last
Would
half.
say at least 4 movies were not good.
Yeah.
I like.
X-Men Origins.
Yeah, that's-
Wolverine.
Yeah. No. The Wolverine is a masterpiece.
No,
Have you not seen
no.
the uncut version?
Why do I need to see the uncut version? I will
Because-
walk into a cinema and I will watch the version that the director thought this is it.
Because the uncut version is rated R.
I don't care.
No. It's a completely different movie. They cut out a lot.
Wait. The Wolverine was the
Japan.
Japan one.
Yeah.
Which was the one where...
Deadpool had his mouth sewn shut?
Yeah.
X-Men
That's
Origins.
Origins. Okay.
So there's all the bad ones are only Origin, X-Men 3.
X-Men 3 is the best one.
I cannot. Let's move on.
Well, I watched Apocalypse last night and I was like, it's okay.
It's okay.
No, it's
It's
really
okay.
not.
It's not X-Men 3.
All right, let's leave this
Yeah,
and let's go
yeah.
to a galaxy far, far away. That's right, we're talking about Star Wars up next. Billy Dee Williams, who will be in episode 9, as announced
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago. He is getting into fighting shape for this movie.
Yes.
When you say fighting shape,
As in, he put out a tweet and it's a video of himself in the gym and he's doing like the
Boxing.
boxing exercise. I'm like, whoa,
Okay.
this guy can still, I guess, move.
Yeah. What was
I mean,
it?
can he though? When we saw him on SDCC stage, he needed a cane to walk himself on stage.
SDCC.
SDCC.
When?
Hey, no, that's this. Was it SDCC? No, Celebration.
Yeah, I was there.
So he had a cane.
He did, yes.
Yeah.
But he and Peter Mayhew have had problems walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially
That's
Peter
why when
Mayhew,
you say
yeah.
fighting shape, I'm just wondering how
Well, okay,
much
to
of
be
a
fair,
fighting shape.
it's just a video of him and he's doing the boxing drills.
Right,
Just
right.
standing in place.
Well,
But
that's good for him.
it's good
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
I mean, at any case, I'm really glad we're seeing Lando again.
yes. He's
any
like the
case.
coolest guy in the universe.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Chewie? Still hanging with this loser?
All right, let's talk about The Predator. And there is a couple of issues with
Yes.
this movie that have developed over the last couple of days, which has pushed Fox to cut certain scenes out from the movie because it featured a registered sex offender.
Yes.
And who's a personal friend of the
Shane
director,
Black.
Shane Black,
Yeah.
who has come out and said that he knew, but he was giving his friend a chance.
He didn't say exactly he knew.
He said his friend... So he gave two statements, right?
Yeah, two
Yeah.
statements. Yeah.
Initially, he said, I was helping out a friend, but he's been in a bad situation, misunderstood. He was on the friend side.
Yeah, he said misunderstood. That's why he put him in the movie.
Yeah. And then he came out and said, I was misled. And I believed him. And
Yeah.
I'm very embarrassed and I'm sorry I didn't tell the crew.
And it was Olivia Munn that
Who found out
who
and-
pushed
yeah.
and made the complaint to Fox.
Yes.
Because there are some scenes in the movie where this guy
Is hitting on her.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
she was the one who blew the whistle, why wasn't she on the red carpet? She was on the red carpet. She didn't give in any interviews. She
Wait.
wasn't allowed to, or
Wait,
she...
what red carpet?
They had this premiere, wasn't it? I don't know.
It wasn't a
I
premiere.
read-
It was a debut screening at
yeah,
a film festival.
It's a debut screening at film
Okay.
festival.
Yeah.
It's about a week away, so
Yeah.
we're probably going to maybe review it next week. But since we are talking about The Predator, there are some early reviews that have called this movie the best sequel since the original. So apparently this is like really good,
Yeah, but...
if
but
it is to be believed.
When Fantastic first came out, people sang that movie praises too.
Maybe they saw a different cut.
I don't think you could change that movie much. I'm just saying, I'm really not sure how I feel about early screening reviews. A lot of it is the hype of being the first one to see it.
If Rotten Tomatoes is anything to go by, it's currently sitting at 80%.
It will go down.
It will go down.
80%. That's really high. I'm surprised.
Yep.
Okay.
80% Rotten
Lest
Tomatoes.
we forget, Justice League had the same reviews. Yes.
Don't remind
because
us.
you guys don't like it. I'm okay with it.
Yep.
I can watch it.
You can watch it. Dell hates it.
As in, if it's playing, yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's playing.
So yeah, I'm very skeptical.
Okay.
And at the same time, Kev, you and I are Monster fans.
Yes.
What they think to be good doesn't mean we will think to be good.
That is true.
Covenant was really well received. I hated it.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was bad. You cannot have white aliens. No.
Covenant
Alien
wasn't
Covenant.
well received.
No.
I was in America when it came out. Those were the words.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, the early reviewers were saying that it was a good sequel to the
It was,
franchise.
the best one since Aliens.
Ridley Scott is back.
Yeah.
Yada, yada.
That's from critics?
It's stuff like this.
Yeah.
Early reviews.
Early
early
reviews and
reviews,
critics. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So I'm very skeptical.
Yeah. We can't trust these early reviews. Yeah.
True. Are you going to be skeptical about this? Because apparently Steve Guttenberg says that a new Police Academy movie is on the way.
Nice.
Is everyone still on board?
I just want Bobcat to be there. That's all that matters.
He's still around.
He's still around, yes.
Yeah.
He's got a podcast or something.
He's got a podcast and he recently did I think a special.
Okay, yeah.
So, because he's a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
And he recently did a special. I think he was making the rounds and I saw him on Jimmy Kimmel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
If the whole crew comes back, yes.
Really, the whole crew?
Mahoney.
You have to have the whole crew.
Whoever-
My
High
favorite-
Power,
Yeah, my favorite is Jonesy.
Motormouth.
Jonesy, the guy with
The
the million sounds.
Yes.
Isn't that Motormouth?
Is it Motormouth?
I know his name is Jones.
Well, in the movie,
Officer Jones.
Officer Jones, and then Mahoney is Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah.
But how would they translate to the modern police force?
Let's see.
Let's see.
Let's see. Well, okay, fine. We'll hopefully this
Hopefully it gets done.
Hopefully it
yeah.
gets done. All right, last bit of news on this week of the podcast. Mattel, which is the biggest toy company in the world. They own
Barbie.
Hot Wheels. Their boxes are synonymous in Toys R Us and toy shops. You see them and you're like, okay, what's in here?
It's either a superhero or Barbie.
That's true. They have launched a film division.
No.
They have.
No, Kev, don't say that.
No, I'm serious. They have.
makes sense.
They've launched a film division, and it's being helmed by the guy who produced Dallas Buyers Club.
Ooh.
Oof.
So
Wow.
so they have some
My opinion changed so quick.
so they have some real weight to this, and it's sort of speculated that they are going to try and make movies out of their existing properties.
Barbie.
Barbie, and we have He-Man and Masters of the Universe, Hot Wheels, Max Steel, Monster High. Those are just some of the franchises that they have.
I would honestly really recommend they get some good writers down and do a He-Man saga. Proper. The mythology of He-Man has always been one of my favorite mythologies. It's just the cartoons never did it justice.
Yeah.
Because they recycled a lot of frames and animation wasn't that great. DC Comics released a series of comics based on the original He-Man stuff, and they were amazing. I really would think they should do He-Man.
Okay, so you're a He-Man fan. Anything you want to see from the Mattel line?
The Hot Wheels movie.
He-Man.
He-Man.
I want to see a Hot Wheels movie, but I want them to hire all the writers and directors from the Fast and Furious franchise.
Nice.
No, that's the problem. We've already seen Hot Wheels, the movie, a few times.
It was called Fast and Furious.
All Gone in 60 Seconds, Need for Speed.
Cars.
Cars.
I would want to see that. Yeah, I definitely would want to see that.
Nah, not Hot Wheels for me.
No, I'm talking about He-Man.
He-Man.
And the Masters of the Universe.
By the power of Grayskull.
I have the power.
All right. Bit of
And
nostalgia
the
there.
cat comes.
Yeah, it goes and then becomes Battle Cat.
Cool.
I thought this.
He-Man.
I thought the movie has already been in production. It's being written.
It's been written for 10 years.
They just can't
That's
get it
true.
right.
They're writing
true.
like 10 pages a year.
So when Mattel starts this movie line or movie company,
Yeah.
are they taking back He-Man?
I don't think so. There's a co-producing deal. So Mattel is now producers.
Okay.
It's like what Sony did with Spiderman and Disney.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The production company would still be. Is it Universal?
Wasn't it Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers or Universal?
Because the reason why I'm saying Warner Brothers is because Warner Brothers printed, so they own DC and they printed the He-Man comics. So I'm guessing there's like a tie there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the news this week on the Wayang Crew Podcast. If you want to get in touch with us here on the show, you can check out our contact links down below, which takes us to our next bit of the show. It's a review of The Nun,
The Nun Valak.
which is from the Conjuring universe.
Yeah, it's part of the Conjuring universe. So the Conjuring universe is one of my favorite success stories of the last 10 years. James Wan and his producing partner writes a movie.
Who's a Kuching boy?
Yes, who's a boy from Borneo. The movie becomes a hit, and then they go, okay. So the hit was the doll, Annabelle. And then they go, okay, let's make a movie about this doll. So an Annabelle movie came out, which wasn't that great. And they thought, oh, we're making another Conjuring movie. Let's use it as a backdoor film for another character. So they introduced the nun and the Crooked Man.
So the nun is like this demon.
Yes, that
thing, yeah.
haunted them. And then since the nun was well received, they're like, let's make the nun movie while we do another Annabelle movie. And it's just kind of, the main ones are spinning off into smaller ones.
Yeah, it's just sort of snowballing and throwing here left and right.
And there's been 4 Conjuring movies before this one, which was Conjuring 1, Annabelle, Conjuring 2, and Annabelle Creation. I like 3 out of 4, and that's a really good number. So I went into The Nun, and I watched it with Del, and I went into The Nun with pretty high expectations. Del, you want to take it away?
Okay, so it's about this. What do you call it? A church? It's a church.
It's an
somewhere
abbey.
in
It's
an
an
abbey.
abbey,
An abbey. Somewhere in what country?
Romania.
Was it? Romania. There is something going on in there. The opening scenes were 2 nuns looking at the door on top of it, that says "God ends here." One nun walks in, try to get out, get pulled in, and threw something out to the other nun. The other nun took it and ran to a window in her bedroom and hanged herself. So the idea is that this demon, supposedly Valak, am I correct to
Yes.
say? Right? Valak needs a body to possess in order to survive.
A living
move
body.
on. A living body, yes.
To leave the convent.
That's why the nun hung herself. And then we jump over to somebody found this nun hanging dead, and the word got out to the Vatican, and they sent this bishop.
Damien Bakir.
Damien Bakir? That's how you say it? I always say Bakir.
Yeah.
And also a younger nun, Thaisa Farmiga,
Okay.
who
Is actually Vera Farmiga's sister.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just made that connection now.
Really?
Because Vera is in Conjuring. Right. Yes, I did.
Del, I brought it up twice.
I know, I just didn't.
Okay.
It didn't sink
I don't
in.
know.
It didn't take.
And then these two went to investigate why did they Okay, so they brought in Bashir or Bakir because he has experience with...
He's like the Nick Fury of that universe.
I wouldn't say so, but he's had experience with possessed people and also...
The supernatural.
Yeah.
And paranormal.
So he's been around, so that's why they sent him.
Yeah, he's done some exorcism.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I have no idea why they had to bring in Thaisa. Because she is not a nun proper yet. She has not taken her vow.
Yes.
And then they went to investigate, and then we found out there's a lot more nuns who are...
actually not there, who are ghosts. And Tessa keeps having all these visions, but I don't know. Like, it's so... This is the problem with this movie, is that there's way too much happening. Like
way too much or just nothing at all?
Yeah, so that's the problem. They're trying to cram in all these things, but nothing gets built.
Yeah.
They don't fully develop a single thread.
Why were the nuns' spirits still there?
Yeah, why were they still there? How was the gate to the great beyond opened?
Why were all these nuns dead and still Valak is still not successful possessing another body?
It's just, I feel like they really didn't flesh out this concept when it was being written.
So the story is lacking in this.
Yeah, because essentially it's about a nun who hasn't taken her vows, getting stuck in an abbey, and the abbey is haunted by a ghost, right? That's the bare bones of the story. But it tries to be bigger than that, and I think the problem is that at some halfway through the film, Del and I were just like, okay, what is the plot here?
What's the point of this movie? Where's it going?
Is it an investigative thing? Because they kind of gave away the... So you know, Citizen Kane, right? Orson Welles' character dies, and the rest of the film, you're trying to figure out what happened. I'm not wrong to assume this priest, played by Damien, and this nun are supposed to investigate what happened.
Well, that's what I gather from...
Yeah, because they're called to an abbey, a convent where a nun killed herself, and the blood hasn't dried. There's a lot of supernatural omens happening. There's a lot of iconography associated with the religion. But they get their answer very fast. So why are they still there?
To leave space for jump scares.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's why. This is so... And that's why I don't like this movie.
Like, they figured out Valak, like, before the halfway point. I could be wrong, right, Del? Like, they figured out really early.
So what's the second half of the movie? Just them running around?
No, they're like, we have to beat it. It's like, that's when it became really cheesy. I'm like, in a lot of horror movies, you don't beat the paranormal element by choice. You have no choice but to. You know? Now it becomes like, we bring the fight to them kind of thing.
This was it. Yeah.
It just felt, and there was a lot of iconography with the snake that I thought was so out of place.
Yeah.
Because Damien's character, a kid who he tried exercising, died, and the kid kept haunting him on this grounds, and he kept puking out a snake.
Why did he come back only here?
Yeah,
this doesn't make sense. There's just a lot of things like a very cliche when it comes to horror movies. Like this one guy leaving the abbey, sees a nun. He already knows something is fishy. He already knows that this place is not right.
Yet he goes there.
And he went and looked for the nun when he was on his way out. So I cannot get behind storytelling in this way. And it's just frustrating watching it happen. And there's the jump scares. The best ones already happened in the trailers. So everything else is just secondary.
Yeah.
The biggest scares you are already expecting, so they're not scary. The whole movie is not scary.
The way they beat the nun as well. So the way to close the door to the great beyond is to use the blood of Christ. It's like a King Arthur movie, Kev. I'm not kidding you.
They had a vial of Christ's blood.
Yeah.
Which is symbolic. It's not real.
No. I mean...
In this movie, it's real, but I know in scripture, it's symbolic.
What?
Yeah.
It's his actual blood, supposedly.
And then, so... Tessa's character keeps having a dream where she keeps hearing the words, Mary will point the way. And as they're under the catacombs of the convent, Mother Mary's statue was pointing a finger, and a light bounced off the finger to a door, and the door opened. It's like a King Arthur movie. It's really not well thought of.
Oh no.
And then the way she beat the nun was, she was in a pool, the nun choked her, she had the vial in her hand, and turns out the vial was broken because the blood was in her mouth, and she spit on the nun.
And this happens when she was underwater. She put the blood into her mouth underwater. It's possible, but it's very
unlikely.
Unlikely when a nun is choking you to death.
Yeah. Okay. I was just so disappointed. I was really expecting this movie to be good.
The problem here with this universe is that they keep getting this writer. I'm guessing he is dirt cheap to write Annabelle Creation.
Is it the same guy?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
the same
this.
guy. And none of these movies really worked. Annabelle Creation was okay, but you've already had experience with Annabelle. It wasn't that great. And then he went on to write Creation. Okay, sure. But then why don't change it up? Get somebody else to write. So I'm guessing he's dirt cheap. And this director was not very capable in making...
What did he make before this? I'm not too familiar.
I also don't know, but it's I think a horror short or something.
A
Just
short?
like
Okay.
Annabelle Creation, was it? It's done by the Lights Out guy.
I think so. Yeah.
David F. Sandberg.
Yeah, Sandberg. This one doesn't really have that. I don't know. The way that he shoots, there's no suspense. It's just very disappointing overall.
Okay, so here's the thing. I just looked this up. This writer that Dell talked about, Gary Doberman, right?
Yeah.
He wrote Annabelle Creation, The Nun, but he also wrote last year's It, which was amazing.
Don't get fooled by that because it was written by 4 or 5 writers.
Really?
Yes.
So he was on the team,
Yes.
but yeah, okay.
Right, okay, yeah.
Okay, so after saying all that, what would be your rating for The Nun, Del?
I would give it 4 drops of blood.
And Khai?
I think I would agree with Dell. Wait, out of 10 or out of 5?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
You should. I thought the question would be out of 10 or out of 20.
Oh,
Okay.
but by default is out of 10.
Yeah, I would give it 4 missing nuns out of 5.
Okay.
Out of 10.
What was that basement filled with nuns, huh?
How did it get water?
That's a better question. I
Okay,
guess.
Del, you know how there was a gate? Why didn't the water go down the gate? Remember they sealed up
Yes, yeah. Where did the water come from? Now that
Kev, you need to
mention it.
watch this movie.
I eventually will, but we'll see.
I just realized the
Yeah,
gate
there's
was open.
yeah.
The rocks weren't there. What held the water together? Many questions.
Many questions.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's our review of The Nun.
Yeah.
It's still showing in local cinemas, so do catch that if you want to. I guess it's not great, but if you are a big fan of the Conjuring universe, it might be worth your time.
No.
Anyway, let's get to the next bit of the show, which is...
Oi, apa liat-liat? Apa liat-liat? Hoi, 看什么看? Apa liat-liat?
Apa liat-liat?
你看什么看？
Apa liat-liat? See what see? 小了.
Yep, that's right. It's called Apa Liat Liat, which is what else we've been watching this week. Del, Apa Liat Liat. See what?
I have been watching the extended version of Lord of the Rings.
Okay,
I've-
re-watching it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah. Come on, Kev. You know, I'm a
This is like
cinephile.
my 5th time.
only.
I have something I want to say about that, but yeah, finish up.
Okay.
The only problem with watching these on Blu-ray is that it's like watching it on VCD. You have to change the disc because it's so long.
No.
One disc.
The extended version?
Yes.
No.
How long
One
is
disc
the
is
movie?
about 4 hours long.
No.
Yes.
Mine is on one disc.
No.
The extended Lord of the Rings, right? You got the
Yeah.
golden box set.
Yeah.
I never changed mine. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
It's
How
on
long
one
is yours?
Maybe,
because it's
maybe,
so...
maybe Del has the Blu-ray, but he's watching the DVD.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Because
No.
one Blu-ray disc
My
is
fist shake.
50
Yeah.
gigabytes.
50 gigabytes. So you should be able to squeeze in...
No.
Oh, really?
Mine's not.
Okay, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna take a picture of my son and send it to you. Because I only changed it for Return of the King. And I don't even think I changed it for Return of the King.
If you had to change it for Return of the King, maybe you... But then it doesn't make sense.
No,
No, because
Del,
all
I'm
3
pretty
movies are at least 3.5 hours long, correct?
Sure. It's 3.5, 3:45, 4:20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know.
No, Del.
I'll take a picture of mine as well.
Yeah, this
and
doesn't
I'll
make sense.
show it to you
Because I'm
later.
thinking of Watchmen. The 4-hour cut is on a single disc as well.
And also, Sin
yeah,
City.
that is...
Yes.
Even Sin City, the director's cut. That's like almost 3 hours and a bit. That's on one disc.
Avatar, 4 hours, single disc.
Yeah.
As in the important one, the
Yeah,
blue
yeah,
people
yeah.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
But how was the movie?
Oh, it was good. You can never get too much of Middle Earth.
You can. I was just gonna say this.
Really?
So when I watched the extended edition, I thought Two Towers was worse because it was extended.
2 Towers, yes.
Right?
Two
It's
Towers
not
were
just me.
because there's too much focus on Samwise and Frodo making googly eyes at each other, and
I mean,
also
they were cute.
the other 2 hobbits, Pippin and Merry,
Yeah.
were talking to ants, and ants are generally just very
Boring.
slow.
Yes,
creatures.
thank you. When I watched, so Two Towers is my least favorite in the
But
trilogy.
the Battle of
Rohan, Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep, that's really good.
Yeah, but the problem is when you're watching that battle, suddenly you're looking at Treebeard again, which
Yeah.
really takes away from the pacing.
But it is have you read the books?
No, nobody's
Okay.
read the books.
I have read the books. And
You have
it's-
so much patience, though.
I do. I really do. It's exactly like the book. The way Treebeard is presented. Because
Okay.
Treebeards are just very the ends are very slow.
Yeah.
But one unfortunate thing is that it becomes clearer as time passes that the CGI doesn't really hold up.
But I thought this had not much CGI.
Are you kidding? There's quite a bit.
Okay.
Ends are CGI. The Two Towers is filled with
They
CGI.
shouldn't have kept the ends. I hate them so much.
The two towers are CGI.
Yeah.
The Two Towers are
Itself are CGI.
All right, Khai.
I've been watching quite a bit this week. I've seen Mile 22
Ooh.
in the cinema yesterday, and I was quite impressed.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
Yes, Mark Wahlberg, Iko Uwais, and Lauren Cohan. Mark Wahlberg obviously always does a decent job at these movies. Like he's always enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Iko Uwais stole the show in my opinion. He's from The Raid, the Gareth.
Gareth Edwards.
No, Gareth.
Gareth.
The other Gareth.
Oh.
Yeah, Gareth Edwards is Godzilla. This is another Gareth.
Gareth Evans.
Gareth Evans movie, and he does a great job. He's a great fighter. It's always a treat to watch him beat people up. The plot was pretty good as well. I think my only problem with this was Peter Berg's directing. This is the fourth movie he's done with Mark Wahlberg, but I think hand-to-hand combat isn't his strong suit because the shots weren't that great. But I would still recommend it. I would give it like a decent 8 miles out of 10.
Okay.
But I've also
8 miles out of 10 out of 22.
8 Mile. Ding, 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 ding. Also, I've been watching a lot of comedy. I've been rewatching The Office. I think I mentioned it last time. So I'm halfway through the show. It's still great. I also watched Arrested Development Season 5, which came out this year. And it's one of those franchises I just realized I think they should have left it in the early 2000s.
Yeah. It hasn't. You can't keep that premise going.
And I found out this is apparently 5-part 1. There's 5-part 2 coming out this October, and I'm like,
did they take like a mid-season break? Or?
yeah. So it's
Okay.
8 episodes, and it's gonna be another 8 episodes, and I just, it's a shame because it was one of my favorite shows, but it's just not been going too well.
Okay. Moving on to me. Finally, I did not watch a movie, as I mentioned on the show already, but I did watch a whole season. Well, it's only 8 episodes of Amazon's Jack Ryan.
Right. Okay.
So it's an Amazon series, and it stars John Krasinski
from The Office.
from The Office. So it's a nice tie-in there. And this is a good year for John Krasinski.
It really is.
He wrote, directed A Quiet Place.
Yes.
Which he's getting a lot of recognition for. He is now no longer that guy, the comedy guy. He's now the
serious
horror
action star.
guy and now a serious action star, because I watched the whole series and he is a Jack Ryan. Like I really bought. I mean, there's not a lot of him doing action stuff, but there is enough to sort of convince you, yeah, this guy, he can do action, and you buy that he is Jack Ryan. It is sort of true to the character, as you know, Jack Ryan is previously, and in the books, the Tom Clancy books, he's an analyst. You know, he had a military background, but he's an analyst now, and he's called back to do certain things, as in investigate, certain terrorist organizations, and they've modernized it, obviously, for our time. And what I like about this series that Amazon has put out is that they did not stereotype the Arabs or the Syrians as this is how they are. They really fleshed out the people like as a race. So you have the refugees, you have the innocent people, you have the people who are just there trying to live, who are trying to sell stuff at the market, and the ones that are causing the problems are the extremists. Which is, how it is in real life, but not always portrayed that way. And I think Amazon did a really good job on this. It's a shame they only have the first season out, which is 8 episodes, about an hour each. But I think this is going to be something that is a reoccurring thing. And but
That's good to know.
if you haven't checked it out, you haven't heard of it, do check out Jack Ryan, which is on Amazon Prime.
I'm surprised after his success with The Quiet Place, he still have time to go and do TV series?
Oh, so this was shot last year.
Yeah, shot last year.
Okay.
Way
I think
before.
probably like coinciding, they had to probably schedule it because he was doing A Quiet Place and this as well.
But he'll
Yeah.
have to come back for season 2.
Maybe.
And he'll be busy with A Quiet Place 2.
A quieter place,
A
right?
quieter place.
So quiet.
Yeah. But it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a good
A
problem.
quiet place. So quiet.
So quiet. All right, so that's the show this
Too
week.
quiet of a place.
Too quiet of a place will drive you insane. All right, so that's the news. That's the show this week. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next week where we might be giving you a review of Predator. We'll see. This is Kev signing off for the Wayang Crew. I'd like to thank my co-hosts, Del and Khai once again. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.